Hey guys, Jacob here. New Sounds and Old is the channel, coming to you from Denmark. Just trying to adjust the volume of the music in the background here. Welcome to a new video on this channel here. This is my take or my go at the Vinyl Tag 2021. And I'm doing, I think that Andrew from Tales from the Crate has done the questions for the one that I'm doing, and I think he mentioned in his video that there are a couple of other vinyl tag versions out there. Anyways, the past previous years I've been giving my go at his vinyl tag, and that's also what I'm gonna do this year. And here comes a cat. I saw Steve Carlson's video the other day regarding regarding how to make it with your channel, and he said that one of the best things you can do is to get a fluffy animal, because obviously his channel. I mean, I don't watch his videos because of Steve. I watch his videos because of Cat, and here is one of my cats. Very perfect timing. This is Carlo. And he will be annoying me now because now I won't be able to show you all of the records that I want to show you, because he needs to sit in my lap and he needs to have both arms on him basically. But we'll see how we can get on with this. Um, yeah, Vinyl Tag 2021, 20 questions. I have them on my computer screeny thingy over here, just to read the questions should I forget them. Okay, we all set? We are all set. There's a little paw here. First up is a discovery in 2020, and I want to show you this one. This will be tricky in a moment because I have to show you a box set, and it's heavy as fudge, and with a cat in my lap, I won't be able to well, get it up to show you. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, discovery in 2020, I picked this gentleman here. He calls himself Rye X, and this is his 2019 album, Unfurl. Um, so it's not an album from last year, it's from the year before, but still, I discovered him last year through Spotify. Um, and basically Spotify, I guess, based on the algorithms and what I've been listening to, suggested that I give this guy a chance, and that was a very very good idea because I absolutely fell in love with the music that this guy is doing. He does basically. I was wondering about how to describe him the other day, and I guess you could sort of call him the electronic version of Bon Iver. So he does very quiet, very somber, very beautiful melodies in a high-pitched voice, or not in a high-pitched voice, yeah, in a high range voice, with these really subtle, very beautiful electronic beats and melodies in the background, and it's just an astounding album. If you're into minimal electronica, I won't say techno because it's not banging as techno very often is. It's not banging beats and so on. It's really quiet, really somber, really beautiful. But if you're into say just chilled out electronica, check out Rye X and his album Unfurl. It's a double record. It's from 2019. He did last year a project called Howling with a German musician whose name I've forgotten now. That's also equally good. I haven't been able to get that album yet, but Rye X Unfurl, if you're into electronica, just very downbeat with some beautiful vocals, check out this album here. So next question is a quarantine vibe. Well, I haven't really been in quarantine. A lot of people have in Denmark due to this COVID-19 thing. A lot of the public officials and so on have been in periods been sent home from work. We are actually in our second lockdown right now in Denmark. All of the shops, apart from grocery stores and other selected stores, are closed. Will be for the next 2 weeks. So a lot of people are sent home from work, but I haven't really been in quarantine from my work. We had around a couple of weeks where we, they split us up into 2 teams, and I had, I think, 2.5 months where I only went to work like every other day, but I still had to go to work. And some of the days where I was at home, I had to work, and other days I was off. So I haven't really been in quarantine. But looking back in my Discogs and finding looking for an album that I bought during this period, and an artist that I finally got started on collection-wise is Muriel Grossman. And this is the album Golden Rule, double album, out on the, I think, Estonian label R Gems. This is an absolute stellar album. Muriel Grossman is saxophone player, both alt and tenor sax she plays on here, and the music is spiritual jazz, very much inspired by Coltrane and others, and she is just phenomenal. She has a 3-piece band behind her, guitar, bass and drums, and the band just play absolutely magnificently. A lot of people in the VC have been talking about Muriel Grossman, so you probably don't need more introduction to her. She just before Christmas put out a new album that I just ordered on a website, along with the album called Reverence, that I didn't pick up when it came out at first, and I just purchased online a special version in a red vinyl. But Muriel Grossman is an artist that I finally got started on collection-wise in 2020, and I bought when I was sort of in quarantine. So here comes the tricky part, because I still have a big old cat here in my lap here, and I have to pull up this really huge, really heavy box set. So we'll see how that goes. No, that's not right, because the third question is an album you want to find in 2021. So I'll just hang on to this box set here. An album that I want to find this year is the Brazilian artist Olandivo, and his self-titled debut album from, I think, 1975 or 76, also of course called Olandivo. It's one of the best Brazilian 70s MPB albums that I've heard, and the originals go for shitloads of money, and there were some reissues done in Holland, or the Netherlands, sorry, in 2017, 16 or 17, and they're about like $80 or so, but I need to get one of those. An original I won't be able to afford, but I really want to get one of those reissues because that's an amazing album. But Olandivo, check him out on Spotify. His album is available there, and it is absolutely stellar. Olandivo. So this is the box set that I want to show you for question number 4. And I might just stop right here and wait until the cat jumps down off my lap, because this is a 2-hand job basically. So stay tuned. Question number 4, show us a box set. And I have shown this before on my previous channel, but I'm really in love with this box set, so I'm gonna show it again. This is the Danish release, Supreme Sound of Copenhagen. This is quite a big box, and Sound of Copenhagen was, maybe still is, I'm not sure actually, a Danish record label focusing on electronic music, focusing on house, breakbeats, and so on. Breakbeat music. And they did a number of releases on CD, compiling some of the best new sounds in Denmark on the Danish electronic music scene. And then finally they released this huge box set, which includes first and foremost, a set of headphones from the brand Skull Candy. I have not opened this. This is still sealed, if you will, in set of, what's it called? In foil. And underneath those headphones, come on, are a booklet, or is rather a small booklet. These are the two founders of the regular one. This is Lee Gameltoft, this is Kjeld Tolstrup. Sadly, he is no more, passed away some years ago. And underneath this booklet are 10 records with around 3 to 4 songs on each side. And they all look kind of like this. So this is the definitive vinyl box set of the best music released on the Sound of Copenhagen label. This is just an absolute stellar box set, and has just, yeah, the best of Danish electronic music from, you know, from around 2005 to around 2015 maybe. An absolutely amazing box set, and pretty sure that no one else will be pulling that one out in their video here. I think only 500 were made. They're still available. I think that they still haven't sold out, even though this is an old release, but definitely worth checking out if you're into Danish electronic music. A concept album. This may be stretching it a bit for some of you. I'm not really that much into prog rock. I mean, I do have records by Genesis and Rush and Yes and so on, but I'm not really, you know, really into that. I picked this one, Arcade Fire, The Suburbs, and some of you might say that's not a concept album. Well, it is sort of a concept album, basically telling the story of how it is to live in the suburbs. This has so many great songs. I saw them live on the tours they did after this album. This one, I think that's one album of the year, didn't it? At the Grammys in the US, which I think also pissed off Kanye West because Beyonce was nominated, but they chose The Suburbs from Canadian band Arcade Fire. And one of the great things they did with this album was that the music video for the first single, called We Used to Wait, was actually an interactive music video where you, I think you entered in the address of your childhood home, and then the music video began with this young gentleman running through the streets of your childhood hometown, passing, running right next to your childhood home, which was just amazing how they did that, how they pulled that off. It was a Google Map kind of thing. Just a really cool thing to do that. So that's my concept album, an album where an artist changed, or a band changed directions. So I chose this one. This is Beck's Sea Change, originally from 2000 and I don't recall, 19 something 19. I don't recall when it was released, but all my records are falling over here. That's really good. Anyways, he came straight from Midnight Vultures, released. Oh, this is from 2002. I remember now. He came straight off of Midnight Vultures, released in 1999, which was basically Beck trying to be Prince. So it was all out funk, soul, high-pitched vocals, and so on. And then he broke up with his girlfriend, or divorced from his wife, and so on. And he got very sad, and he made this very depressing album. It's a beautiful album. It's my favorite Beck album. With song titles like Guess I'm Doing Fine, Lonesome Tears, Lost Cause, Already Dead. Yeah, he really, I mean, going from full-on horn blowing, bass pumping 70s style funk, 80s style funk, to a very depressing album is quite a change. So that was my album for that one. A white label promo. Now I saw Andrew showing this A&M white label promo, so I think that's something that you have in the States. I don't think that we have that here in Europe. So what I'm gonna do is show you a white label and a promo record. So this is a white label, simply because it is completely white on the cover, and the label doesn't really say anything except it says, and I apologize if you hate this band, it says Coldplay written with a pen. This is, I believe, the dance mixes of Speed of Sound off of their X and Y album, 2004, 2005, and I mean, this is just a DJ white label record. It's a really good remix. And then a promo record I found also in the electronic section is this one from The Source, featuring Candy Staten and You Got the Love. This is the remix that made it really big, I think in the late 90s, early 2000s in the UK. Obviously this song also was covered later by Florence and the Machine, who had a big hit with this song, but originally it was Candy Staten who released it, I believe, and The Source, UK based project, then did this remix and sampled her vocals, and as it says on the front sticker here, promo use only. So I guess I kinda did what I was supposed to do. I showed a white label and a promo. Anyway, that's my pick. A compilation album. This album here is one of, I think, definitely the compilation album I've been listening to most the past year, and also one of the albums that I've listened to the most. This is out on the French label Favorite. This is the compilation French Disco Boogie Sounds Volume 2, compiled by Charles Maurice, a French guy, I would think. This was released in 2016, and this, look at that cover. Look at that cover. The music is just as you would imagine it being looking at this cover. So it's late 70s, early 80s disco boogie in French. Those are the artists and the song titles, and it's an absolute stellar compilation. There are so many good songs on this album here. Yeah, it says down here at the bottom, from 1978 to 1985. The songs on here go from those years. Man, what a compilation. So many good songs. If you're into like kitschy disco boogie, as I am, man, that is stellar. Next one is an album that tells a story, and that is not where the album tells a story, but where you have a story for the album. So I picked this one. This is a Danish record by the band called Love Shop, and this album is called Kærlighed og Straf, which in English is Love and Punishment. And down here is the signature of the lead singer, a guy called Jens Unmark. So that is Jens, that is Unmark, and then this is 3 X's. And the story that I have of this album is that I bought this at a concert with this band, and Love Shop has a song called Love Goes On Forever. It is in Danish, but the title is in English. But basically that song is about losing, we all basically have to die at some point, and make sure to tell your loved ones that you love them while you still can. That is basically the gist of that song. The band Love Shop, I think, started out originally as 4 guys. 1 guy left after the first album. Then there were 3 main members who really were the band, and 1 guy left the band, and then I think he was in a car accident and died tragically. And then there were 2 guys left. One of them got cancer and died. So there's one guy left from the original lineup, and so basically that song kind of sums up, I think a lot of things also for the guy left, the lead singer and songwriter Jens, who signed the record. So there's a lot of emotion in that song when they play it live still. The guy who passed away from cancer played the harmonica, mouth organ, I think some of you may call it. And he did like a solo thing in that song, but when the band played live now, that solo is not played. Instead, the lead singer has for some years now been saying, let's all toast to Henrik, which was this guy. So the another addition to the story is that I went to this concert 2 days after my wife's stepfather died. He had been sick for a long time, and it was still a surprise that he passed away there. I think he had a heart attack, but we could all see where it was going. But 2 days after he passed away, I went to this concert. My wife actually went to the movies. And this was not to disrespect him in any way. We just really needed to go out and to get our heads, cleared, and just not sit at home and think about that. And I mentioned that to the guy, to Jens, the singer of the band, and he was really shook when I told him that the song "Love Goes On Forever" really hit me hard today, because I lost my father-in-law basically 2 days ago, and he was kind of shocked that I was there. I said, oh, are you okay? What about your wife? Said, well, she's at the movies, and he just looked really funny at me, saying, oh, okay. That's one way to deal with it, but that was how we dealt with that, because we just really needed to, we needed to breathe, and we needed to be doing something else than sitting at home and, being sad and thinking about what was going to happen next. So that's the story to that album. An album that needs a vinyl pressing. Well, you know this one? It says right here. Tool, Fear Inoculum. This is the CD, the first CD box set. I think there were two separate ones. This is the first CD box set that came out, 2018 was it? For Tool's Fear Inoculum. This is the one with the video screen and everything, and I think the battery died. It doesn't really show the video anymore. There is a description on how to change the battery, but I haven't really gotten to it. Anyways, Tool, for the love of God, would you please release some of your albums on vinyl? This one has not had a vinyl release. The one before that, 10,000 Days, has not had a vinyl release. Lateralis, the one before that, had a vinyl release, but only on a very noisy picture disc. And the one before that, Enema, had a vinyl release in 1996 when it was released. But that costs like $1,000 or whatever. So Tool, for the love of a God that doesn't exist, would you please release your albums on vinyl? And I'm not going to be buying bootlegs. I see a lot of bootlegs on Facebook of Fear Inoculum. Finally, I have it on vinyl. Well, what you have is a vinyl copy of a CD. By the way, I still want to mention, I think that this was, the retail price for this was around $45 in the US. In Denmark, the retail price was $125. And I still bought it on the day of its release because I needed to have it. A common and an uncommon album. The common album I chose is Paul McCartney's Ram, regarded by many as his best solo album. The uncommon album, and an album that kind of goes along with this one, I've shown this before on my previous channel, is Pure McCartney, which is a recording of a concert with the Danish musician Tim Christensen. If you know something about Danish music, he is in a band called Dizzy Miss Lizzy, and he has teamed up with, here I forget the name, sorry. He has teamed up with Mike Viola, which is this dude here, and then Tracy Bonham, which is this lady here, and then Tim's regular band at that time. So this was on Paul McCartney's 70th birthday. This group of people decided to throw a concert where they played Ram and in its entirety. So from start to finish, they played Ram. Because that is all of these three main people, that is, Ram is their favorite Paul McCartney album. So they played that, and then some further Paul McCartney and Wings songs. So this is a Danish release, and it's hard to get even in Denmark, and it's kind of expensive. It was only printed once, and this will most likely never be reissued. That's an uncommon album that goes along with this very common album. An EP, well, I chose once again from the electronic section because there needs to be more electronic music in the VC, I think. This is the Icelandic Faroese duo. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a guy from Iceland and a guy from the Faroe Islands have a project called Kiasmos. This is their EP Blurred. The guy from Iceland is Ólafur Arnalds, who you may know. He has released several solo albums and a lot of music for TV series and movies. If you know the TV show Broadchurch, he did the music for that one. Starring the guy who was Doctor Who before the lady who is Doctor Who now, who's also in Broadchurch, became the new Doctor. And then also Olivia Colman, who won an Oscar for The Favourite. She's also in Broadchurch. Go check it out. It's a really amazing show. Anyways, this is their EP Blurred from 2017. This is electronic music. This is Ólafur Arnalds is a neoclassical composer, and Janus Rasmussen from Faroe Islands puts beats onto his beautiful, haunting neoclassical melodies. So, yeah, a bit like Rai X, but without vocals, and maybe possibly even better. So check out Kiasmos. That's an EP. A girl group, I don't really like that. I don't really like the words girl group together. So, but this, I'll say this. This is a record by a band featuring only women. This is Boy Genius, and their EP, by the way, called, it's just called Boy Genius, I think it is. So Boy Genius is Phoebe Bridgers, Julian Baker, and Lucy Dacus. Phoebe Bridgers released one of the best albums last year called Punisher, I believe. Why do I keep forgetting her name? Julian Baker, amazing artist. Had one of the best albums a couple of years ago. She has a new album out next year. Lucy Dacus is just amazing. These three very talented women together. Sadly, so far only this one EP, but it is stellar. An album cover you loved. I could have chosen many by this band, but I ended up on choosing this one. This is Dead Can Dance, and they're on the cover for their album Within the Realm of a Dying Sun, released on 4 AD in 1986, I want to say. I don't recall. 1987, sorry. This cover photo here by Bernard Audin is just really beautiful. I guess it's some sort of mausoleum, maybe at a cemetery or something. And the weird thing is this part here this big square here is just all black. But this photo here is just so mysterious and so beautiful. Very black, very bleak on the other side. An amazing band, one of my favorite bands of all time. Dead Can Dance. Let's see, an album you've listened to the most. Well, this is one of them at least. This is an album that I discovered actually when it came out in 1991. Got it on CD, and only recently just actually purchased a couple of years ago purchased the reissue that was put out there on vinyl. This is Massive Attack and their first album, Blue Lines. UK based, from Bristol, I believe. Trip hop, soul, rap, oh man. From start to finish, this is just an amazing album. this was also the first time that we heard from Tricky, the UK rapper. This is 3D, by the way. The guy that everyone believes is Banksy. Still no real proof yet, but Massive Attack, Blue Lines. Oh man, yeah. I can't really say enough how I love that album. An album that you had to get an OG copy of. I don't really buy many OGs. Looking at my Discogs, trying to find something that I bought, recently, or at least last year, that was an original copy of an old album that I wanted to get, and I couldn't find anything. I picked this one, and I had to get this one when I found it at a flea market because it was less than $1. This is Gracious, I believe British psych garagey proggy band. The reason why I had to pick it up is because of the Vertigo label. Let's be honest, I didn't know the music, but it was at a flea market and it was very, very cheap. Has the Vertigo Swirl Central label. Did not have the original Vertigo Swirl inner sleeve. This is a new sleeve that I put it in. This was actually, the record was just, I think it was without a sleeve when I bought it. It's a good album. It's a very expensive album if you can find a decent copy of it. The copy was once white. The cover was once white. It isn't really anymore, but it was a great find, and I had to get it when I found it. But in general, I don't really care too much about whether I pick up an OG or a reissue, because of all of the OGs that I want, most of them I cannot afford. Simple as that. Last album I purchased is this one from Roshin Murphy and her album Roshin Machine. Roshin Murphy, of course, was the lead singer in the UK trip hop act Moloko, and this is her latest album from last year. And it is one of my favorite albums. I didn't do a video of my favorite albums of 2020, and it's too late now to do it. But this is one of my favorite albums of last year. This is Roshin doing a modern take on 70s disco with a lot of electronics and just some great songs. And she's a really, really good singer. And yeah, I absolutely love this album here. So that is the latest one that I got. Nearly there, just only 3 more albums to show you. And why do I have 4 albums left in my pile? One of them I don't need to show. So an album they don't get. So I listen a lot to music from all around the world, and a lot of people don't understand why I would buy a record from Libya from 1959 by the singer Fairuz. But I happen to love Fairuz. She is one of my favorite singers of all time. And this is the album A Bouquet from Fairuz, and I'm unsure whether this is the UK version or whether this is the Lebanese Lebanese version. Did I say Libya? I mean Lebanon. Anyways, it's a really good album. The recording is not that good, but the songs on here are so beautiful. I love music from Africa, from the Middle East, from the Arabic countries, man, I'm just a sucker for that. And Fairuz is an amazing singer. So this record is from 1959, and it actually sounds pretty good. 2 more to show. Punk album, or the closest thing you have to it. Idles Ultra Mono from 2020, again one of the best albums of last year in my opinion. This is punk. I've had the great fortune of seeing Idles live, and it's a riot. This was when they only had released 1 album when I saw them live 2 or 3 years ago. They've released 3 albums by now. This is their 3rd and the latest one. check them out if you don't know the Idols, IDLES. This is Ultra Mono, their latest release. Man, they're good. And finally, favorite reissue of 2020. Well, I had to pick this one because I've been waiting forever for this reissue. This is PJ Harvey and her album Rid of Me. I got it on CD in 1993 when it was released. 1993. And OGs have just been too expensive for me. So finally, Island are reissuing all of her albums. So far, they've done Dry, her debut, Rid of Me, and To Bring You My Love. They're just about to release, I think, no, they also released Dance Hall at Loose Point, the one she did with John Parrish. What's the next one that's coming up? Is This Desire, I think, is the next one coming up, and it is out in the beginning of January here, so check that out. So that is my favorite reissue of 2020. And that brings us to the end of this very long, very long video. Thank you for watching. If you made it all the way through, thank you. Remember, I have a contest already. I don't know if it's the first one of this year, but I do have a contest. I'll make a link below to the contest. It's very easy. It's very easy. Yeah, that's it for my vinyl tag. Stay safe, guys, and be well.